It was this. We had worked at at Park Paving, which is one of the big construction guys in Edmonton, and all going through school and university. And yeah, kind of we've decided sort of in that last summer that hey, next year we're going to try and we're going to go and do it on our own. And a lot of people always say that, and kind of every year there was always the talk of who's going to try and go out and do it on their own next year. So yeah, over the wintertime we wrote a business plan, followed through with that, sort of put all the pieces in place, I guess. And when I came back from Europe, yeah, we decided to let's go out and do it. The biggest thing for us is we were all young, single, no wife, no kids, really had nothing to lose. Worst case, if it didn't work, we could always go back to work for Park Paving or for one of these other guys. So that it was there. Well, I should clarify, there was one of the four of us who did have a wife and did have kids, and that obviously made things a little more complicated. We had to, definitely keep his interests in mind when making some of these decisions, but it was, really not much to lose. And again, we were always confident. I think that's the biggest thing too, is that you have to be confident in your product, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's concrete or food or boots or whatever. You have to know that you have to be confident in that you're gonna provide a good product. And that was always the easy part. Actually doing the work was the easy part. It was getting the work. It was managing all the other things that go with it. That was the hard part. But the actual work itself was, for us at the time, was the easiest part.
Well, I just, always really, really enjoyed being a chef. I thought I was, good at my job. I had lots of very, very difficult jobs in Canada and in camps and all this sort of thing with, large numbers of people and all kinds of headaches and everything. I thought I could do this. I was in management for 3.5 years before I actually started off on my own. And when I decided that's what I was going to do, it was just a question of starting off. I had a nice reserve fund of money, which I'd saved up with the idea that I was going to start my own business, and unfortunately that ran out within about 6 months. And I went from a very high-paying job, $75,000 plus, and my first year's pay was $9,800. I remember it well. My mortgage was 12, so you can imagine. That was the story of my life for many, many years. My wife Elizabeth is here today. She was, fabulous at helping keep both of us sane there. Very, very hard journey. For the first 17 years of business, it was just grueling and brutal. And it's been really the last 8 or 10 years that it's been, worthwhile to be hang in there and do it. And if, any advice I can give to anyone, persistence usually succeeds. I won't say all the time, but usually it succeeds. If you really have a drive that you want to make it work, I guarantee you, if you really believe in yourself and the product you're trying to sell, you will make it, and I am a perfect example of that, believe me,
Justine came up with the idea in Barley in January, and she wrote me the longest email I've ever received from her while traveling to tell me about the idea. And Justine had never really expressed interest in being an entrepreneur, so I kind of thought, oh, that's a nice idea, and I didn't really know it was going to go anywhere. And then she came home and diligently spent the next couple of months every night researching it, looking at competitors, seeing what existed, and eventually, she always says her biggest victory was convincing me to do it with her. So we started doing it together, and we risked our money. We sat down and said, we're willing to spend $5,000 to see if this is an idea that we can make happen. So Justine took a week off from her job at the time. We flew down to Mexico, kind of unannounced, to find a manufacturer to make the boots, and we just invested time and money so that by the end of May, we said, we can do this, and Justine left her job, and now we're working full-time on it.